Many thanks for joining us. I am Ansmane Sonyasi, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Here are the main local and international news headlines. The third Turkey-Africa summit has wrapped up in Istanbul, with leaders adopting a joint declaration with parties expressing commitment to further strengthen and deepen the cooperation in the interests of the states and the peoples. Following recent reports of the Omicron COVID-19 variant, health officials have begun the first phase of a nationwide COVID-19 vaccination campaign from Banjul to Kalaji, which will last for a week. The country's only performing arts theatre, Ebunja Theatre, celebrated its 10th anniversary on Friday in an event held on the theatre grounds in Kanifing. In international news, December 20th is marked as the International Human Solidarity Day, commemorated to honor unity in diversity. And in sports news, FIFA's Arab Cup final has ended with two North African teams contesting the final in Qatar. Well, those were our main headlines, and now we take a look at the news in detail. Now, first, we go live to Banjul, where my colleague Mohamed Lamin Choi is at the High Court covering the UDP election petition, and he would keep us up to date with the court proceedings for today. The court was expected to proceed with the case today, but we would bring you live images of that shortly, and he would take us through the court proceedings for today. Now, the third Turkey-Africa summit has wrapped up in Istanbul, with leaders adopting a joint declaration with parties expressing commitment to further strengthen and deepen the cooperation in the interests of the states and the peoples. Well, as Ali Sise reports, Turkey is gradually having more influence on the continent as it seeks to further strengthen relations with Africa.
Relations between Turkey and Africa have gained substantial momentum since the declaration of Turkey as a strategic partner of the continent by the African Union in January 2008. The relationship constitutes one of Turkey's key foreign policy objectives. The third Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit held in Istanbul attracted African presidents, and President Adama Barrow of the Gambia was represented by his Vice President, Dr. Aïssatou Touré. The summit adopted a joint declaration in which parties expressed commitment to further strengthen and deepen the cooperation in the interest of the states and peoples. The declaration said parties will focus on three main issues: peace, security and justice, human-focused development, and strong and sustainable growth. For the Gambia, a tiny West African nation, over the years, cooperation has been established and support from Turkey received in vital sectors of the country's economy. The various agreements signed between the two countries, especially during President Barrow's visit to Ankara, amply demonstrate the high-level cooperation between the two countries. The goodwill, friendship and strong ties of cooperation between Turkey and the Gambia was further strengthened by the historic visit of Recep Tayyip Erdogan to the Gambia last year as part of a free African nation tour, including Algeria and Senegal. The Gambia was the 28th African country he visited as of January 2020, both as a Prime Minister and President, signaling the importance Turkey attaches to Africa. The Gambia government also gained support from Turkey to build the capacity of security forces by training 500 officers on peacekeeping. Turkey's instrumental role in supporting the Gambia to host the OIC summit and sharing the Turkish experience in hosting such a world event is also evident to the bilateral ties. Furthermore, the establishment of the Office of the Turkish Agency for International Development (TICA) in the Gambia will enhance an effective way of harnessing and strengthening the cooperation. Through Ankara-Banjul cooperation, via its commencement of the Banjul-Istanbul route with Turkish Airlines, was opening up new frontiers in business between the two countries. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the summit, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said, "We want to develop together and increase the welfare of our people together. Thus, we attach great importance to the Memorandum of Understanding." Felix Tshisekedi, the African Union President, who is also the President of Democratic Republic of Congo, and President Macky Sall of Senegal, said Turkey, a country showing solidarity with Africa in all aspects, has paved the way for a historic summit. They hailed Turkey's win-win approach towards Africa and endeavor for mutual prosperity. "We have ample water resources. We want Turkey's expertise to use this in our continent," said the African Union President. Vice President Dr. Aïssatou Touré said the Gambia called for togetherness for common interests, citing the huge potential in Africa with many countries emerging as global players. She said the Gambia is committed to consolidate and strengthen the relations between Banjul and Ankara. Turkey and African countries' bilateral trade rose to $23.8 billion in 2018 from $5.5 billion in 2003, while Turkey's export jumped by 579% to $14.4 billion in the same period. Turkey has presented itself as an alternative, benevolent brother to the European powers who once colonized the continent. However, some analysts say Turkey is a major power, mainly in humanitarian aid, but not in other realms, as it is a new actor that has met other bigger states occupying that space in Africa before it, such as China and France. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alu Sise.
Now, as I indicated earlier, my colleague Mohamed Lamin Choi is at the High Court, and he now joins us live on the line to give us updates of the UDP election petition at the High Court in Banjul. Choi, what is the latest?
Thank you very much, Eso. This morning, the Supreme Court of the Gambia convened another hearing, and the hearing today was supposed to be on a motion that was applied for in the previous hearing. And that motion was seeking or asking the court to strike out or dismiss the case on the basis that the president, who is the first respondent, that is Adama Barrow, is constitutionally immune. There's a constitutional immunity which protects him from civil or criminal suit. So this morning, the court convened, and the hearing from the other lawyers, we understand that they also filed another motion yesterday. And there was another one also that was filed today. And the one that was filed is to ensure that the previous one that was filed on the 16th of December, which was asking for the petition to be struck out or dismissed, was to be consolidated. So it was a consolidated, a consolidated motion that was applied for, which at the end of the day, the petitioner, the lawyers for the petitioner, that is the Democratic Party, disagreed for both motion, that is the motion on the 16th, and today's motion to be consolidated. So the one that was applied for on the 20th of December is a similar one. It's a similar one, but it is more detailed and it contains more prayers. I understand it contains 8 prayers. So in order to to make sure that the case proceeds, the Supreme Court of the Gambia will have to hear the motion, and that is a motion to strike out or dismiss. But the Supreme Court of the Gambia did not grant the both motions to be consolidated today. And what happened is that SM Tambedu, the lawyer for the first respondent, decided to withdraw the first motion, that was the motion to strike out or dismiss, which was filed on the 16th of October. So it has been withdrawn, which has been granted. So the Supreme Court of the Gambia has now adjourned the case to Friday, and it will hear the similar motion, that is a detailed one, which contains more prayers to be had on Friday, seeking for the petition to be strike out or dismissed in detail.
So this second motion, in other words, is to reinforce the first one, now that it has been withdrawn.
Yes,
yes. So do we get a sense that the case would eventually proceed after Friday's proceedings?
It will proceed. It depends on what happens on Friday. The court will meet on Friday so that they will hear the motion. And the motion, the detailed motion, which contains 8 prayers, which is similar to the previous one that was brought to the court on the 16th of December. So from there, it is only then, when they hear the application of that motion, the court can proceed to hear the case on its merits, basically. But not proceed, because yes. Yesterday the Supreme Court of the Gambia has met with lawyers to discuss on the roadmap and the timeline of the case, because the court has 30 days in order to bring about a judgment or its verdict on this case. So they're just trying to expedite the process to ensure that what the Constitution dictates is really, abided by.
Now, aside from the actual court proceedings, have you been able to engage any of the officials or maybe even party sympathizers, and what has been their reaction?
We have not been doing that because even if we are to speak, we will speak with lawyers from both parties. Indeed. Because this is a highly significant case.
Sure.
And when we want to do stories, we want to balance our stories. We want to hear from the respondent and the petitioner.
Indeed.
We were not able to do that because both were not able to speak to the press with regards to this case. So for now, we will hold on, and we depend on what we gather from the hearings in order to report to the public.
So at what time on Friday is the hearing for the second motion?
So it's adjourned to Friday, 9:30. So on Tuesday, then there will be the hearing on the merits when there will be reply. Yes, there will be reply on the merit by the first respondent.
Indeed. So on Friday is the hearing on the motion, and then on Tuesday is the hearing on the merits. Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you so very much. My colleague Mohamed Lamin Choi there, bringing us updates of the UDP petition proceedings at the High Court in Banjul. Thank you so very much, Choi. Now, following recent reports of the Omicron COVID-19 variant emerging in the country, health officials have begun the first phase of a nationwide COVID-19 vaccination campaign from Banjul to Kalaji, which will last from 18 to 24th December. Abiwatu Sise spoke to someone from the health ministry and some members of the public about the issue. Here's her report.
The availability of different coronavirus vaccines, reluctance to take the jab remains very high in the country. The Ministry of Health has expressed concerns over this vaccine hesitancy, which has resulted in the expiration of about 28,000 COVID-19 doses, with another 80,000 doses close to expiry. The ministry has now launched an expanded program on immunization for more people to be vaccinated without them having to go through too much trouble to do so. Jibril Gando Balde, Senior Health Communication Officer of the Ministry of Health, Promotion and Education, explains.
The main purpose of this exercise is to get the vaccine very close to the doorsteps of the people. That's why we sending in people to go in, to knock into the households, into the compounds, and tell them that these teams will be coming on your street. So when they come, please go out and take your opportunity and get vaccinated. 14% of the targeted population of the Gambia is vaccinated. And the Minister of Health targets to vaccinate 60% of our population. We are appealing to everybody, go out during this period because it's from the 18th to the 24th.
At the busy Sarakunda market, people are going about their businesses with little or no signs of observance of COVID-19 safety guidelines. Jenaba Kanyi, a businesswoman, says she has taken the vaccine, trusts in its efficacy, and urges others to take the jab.
Amul fay.
Health is priceless. Health is everything. I am appealing to those who have not yet taken the vaccine to do so, because I have taken it and I know it is very good.
One doesn't have to look far to find signs of vaccine hesitancy. Some people have been swayed by misconceptions rather than science about the vaccine, causing them to worry about taking the vaccine. Fatoumata Sise and Amidiba say they have not been vaccinated, revealing that they have had many negative stories about the vaccine.
I wanted to take the vaccine, but I ended up not taking it because of the negative stories that made me scared. Now I am only hoping on God for protection. I go for a medical checkup each month, mainly to check my sugar level. So I will ask my doctor, and if he advises me to take the vaccine, then I will.
However, Omar Senghor says he and his family have taken the vaccine because prevention is better than cure. He gives this advice to those who have not yet taken the vaccine.
Those of us who have taken the vaccine have not encountered any health complications. The vaccine is important because even we, the businessmen, cannot go to other countries without the vaccination card. So, I urge everyone to be vaccinated.
As the Ministry of Health commences the massive vaccination campaign across the country, they are urging those who have not received the vaccine to do so, to protect themselves, their families, and the wider community. For QTV News, I am Abibatu Sise.
Now, the country's only performing arts theatre, Ebunja Theatre, celebrated its 10th anniversary on Friday in an event held on the theatre grounds in Kanifing. Maudumboch attended, and this is his report.
Since its opening on 17th of December 2011, Ebunjan Theatre, with its striking 16-meter dome, has staged numerous plays and hosted diverse cultural shows. The evening kicked off with the cocktails on the rooftop, where guests, including many distinguished Gambians, socialized while sipping their drinks and eating appetizers. I took aside the chairman of the theatre's board of directors, Mr. Crispin Gray Johnson, former foreign secretary, to get his reflections on the occasion.
It's a great occasion. I think the first real theatre the Gambia has ever had, through the efforts of one individual.
Over the decade, Ebunjan has been an edifying cultural presence, staging plays as diverse as Robert Bolt's A Man for All Seasons, Wole Soyinka's The Lion and the Jewel, and Shakespeare, of course, as well as the plays written by the theatre's founder and artistic director, the vastly experienced doyen of theatre, Janet Bajan Young. Fondly called Auntie Janet, she has created a theatre to not only stage plays, but also serve as an incubator for the next generation of performing artists. Under her tutelage, scores of aspiring actors and actresses have reached new levels of excellence and recognition. Jibu Saidi and Mariama Kole are among the longest-serving members of Ebunjan, and in interviews expressed their appreciation.
I am one of the oldest actors here today. It's a good memory for me. It has brought me far, it has developed me, and it has shown me so much light.
I am so excited and happy and blessed and lucky to be part of the Ebunjan Theatre.
The main cause, so to speak, of the celebration was the launch by Professor Per Gomez, acting Vice Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, of the publication in English and Wolof of the play Usman and Rohi, Usman ak Rohi by Auntie Janet. As if to whet the appetite so that we could rush out to buy the book, the theatre troupe performed a few scenes from the play. And among the performers on stage was the guest speaker, the multiple awarded Kenyan actor and journalist, once mentored by Janet Young in Kenya in the early 1970s on his first visit to the Gambia, John C.B. Okumu.
What you Gambians should be aware of is that we in Kenya consider Janet Bajan Young a national treasure, and I would urge you to do the same.
Ebunjan is a portmanteau word meaning the gift of Janet. I interrupted her hosting for an interview on what the anniversary means to her.
Well, I'm just praying that I have more strength and energy so I could do more for Gambians, more for the youth of the Gambia. So I think, well, you know, at this age, I'm not telling you my age, but I've done it. I'm far gone, far gone. So I think it's just for the inspiration. I want the inspiration. I want to be able to really get drama going in the Gambia, because I believe it does so much for kids. And I'm very lucky because now I did a backway project with schools, and now I have another project on human rights also with the schools. And I think this for me would be what I think will blossom into something absolutely wonderful for Gambia.
In some societies, the traditional 10th anniversary gift is tin, symbolizing preservation and longevity. The will and drive that got Ebunjan Theatre going for a decade perhaps shows a commitment and determination to go the distance, which bodes well for the theatre's 10th anniversary motto of
another 10 years.
For QTV News, I am Modu
Wow, beautiful report there by Modu Mboch, and it will lead us to a short commercial break, but we will be right back. Don't go away.
I am the light goddess. Everything I touch turns into light. I am the light at the end of the tunnel, and my technology is the answer. I am the happiness in your life. I keep you connected, and I am Q-Power. I am Q-Cell. I am Sunibus. We innovate, others follow. Call 111 for more information.
Welcome back from the short commercial break. We reminded you're watching QTV Midday News, coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue with me, Ansumana Sonyasi. Now, the Child Protection Alliance, in partnership with Save the Children International, on Saturday organized its annual inter-school competition in commemoration of the Day of the African Child. The event provided a platform for students from 10 schools across the country to showcase their talents centered on children's rights and welfare. Lamin Choi tells us more.
It all started with a march past in commemoration of a significant event in the history of the continent, the Day of the African Child. It is commemorated to honor about 10,000 black school children in South Africa who, 45 years ago, marched more than half a mile protesting the poor quality of their education and demanding the right to be taught in their own language. The historic moment is known as the Soweto Uprising, which witnessed the shooting of the protesting children, leaving more than 100 dead and thousands injured. In 1991, the tragic incident prompted the Assembly of Heads of States and Government of the then OAU to institute the Day of the African Child in memory of the 16th of June 1976 student uprising in Soweto, South Africa. The theme for this year is 30 years after the adoption of the Charter, accelerate implementation of Agenda 2040 for an Africa fit for children. Lamin Fati, the national coordinator of the Child Protection Alliance, sees the day as an opportunity for deep reflection on the state of the rights and welfare of children.
Africa fit for children, to me, is not only a mere statement. It is a statement of accountability. That human rights are nothing more, nothing less, other than holding someone